Hey, welcome to part two of the weather vane. We got the whole boat cut out yesterday, and what we need to do now is balance things. And this is the center line, so this is a pivot point. I'll hold it up. And essentially, like with a seesaw, if I set this down, I've got a socket here. If I set this down and I put the socket like right underneath this line, this boat should kind of be equal. So it's a lot heavier on this end. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut tapers. And so I've drawn these lines, and I'm going to resaw on the bandsaw. So I'm going to, the bandsaw, you can cut very thick with it. So I'm going to cut right along here, and we're just going to cut these two wedges out, and then we'll see what we get. If it's still too heavy, I'm going to start knocking off the length. So I've made this pretty long, and I think it would still look cool if it was only like this long. So we'll cut weight that way. But somehow we're going to get this thing so it's balanced. So I'm going to reposition the camera. I'll get you over by the bandsaw, and then we'll resaw this. All right, so here we are on my Amazon Prime bandsaw that was supposed to take 2 days to get here, and it took 25 because of the coronavirus. But anyway, I have it all adjusted, and I have it adjusted so that this bolt part will fit under, so the piece of wood will fit under, but my fingers can't. And that's just a good rule of thumb. So going to be cutting out along these Sharpie lines, and so we're just going to get right to it. Okay, so I think the next step, we're going to see how this thing weighs out, and we're just going to test it again for weight. I knew that the roof of this was going to stop me from cutting all the way, but I can do the rest by sanding. So this is what we have so far. It's starting to look kind of like, well, that's what I wanted, like to be like tapered down. So I think it's going to go into the wind better. So we're going to go back to our little seesaw testing station. It's still pretty heavy. And so if I switch a fulcrum point to like here, it seems like right about there is just about what we want. So we can't, and obviously we can't switch the fulcrum point, but we can continue to take weight off this back. And so what I've done is I've set up a belt sander, and what I'm going to do is just sand like that, and we'll see how much weight we can take off that way, and then we'll just keep coming back and testing it. Now, when I'm using this, I'm going to get you guys a little closer so you can see this a little better. All right, we're going to start sanding. Okay, I've got this all sanded now. And you can see it's like really tapered. And I'm gonna try the balance thing again, and we'll see what we get. One of the things I want to sand this. It's a little lumpy, and so before I even do the balancing, I'm just gonna sand this on the disc side of the sander, and so I'll reposition so you can see me a little better. So I'm just checking to make sure everything's nice and square before I get sanding this. So this is a 9-inch disc sander. I can only use 4.5 inches. So I'm going to go center left because it spins this way. And if I go center right, it's going to take the piece and try to lift it. I could even throw it. So this way lifts, this way pushes towards table. So center left. So here we go. We'll get some of these lumps on. You can see right here, this should all be nice and smooth. So that's what we're going for. A lot better. Gonna do the old the balance test, and we'll see what we got. So I'm kind of psyched because we are like this close. So if I just roll this over just a little bit, like let's see, like that. That's like just about there. So I'm gonna take off a little of the tail of this thing, so a little off the stern, and then we're going to see what happens. I think we might just have it. I kind of feel like this boat is pretty long anyway, so I don't think it's going to affect the way it looks. So I'm going to cut that off, and then we're going to check it again. So what I figured I'd do is I'm going to take off exactly an inch, and then we'll give it a test. And then if I do it incrementally like that, we'll get a sense for how much we need to take off. And I'm hoping that an inch isn't too much. It's really close. This is what we have. I'm going to try sanding the roof now. I'm going to like get this down, taper that, and see if that helps. So now I'm going to try to cut weight just by taking this little sliver off. So I'm going to cut up to here on the bandsaw, and we'll see if that helps. Because we're so close. I've got this thing tapered right down. I've got the roof tapered, and it's still not perfect. So I want to get it all balanced, and so that's what I'm going to do now. So I just cut this off, and we're going to see how that helps. So you guys, it's a success. I took my coffee cup because it's round too, and you can see just like this thing is like just totally like balanced right on top of this. So I'm going to go test it in the wind, and then we'll make a base for it. And I'd like to like make like the little north, south, east, west, and see, just see how all that works. But anyway, success. We've got this thing balanced, and still going to sand some of it, but it's coming along. So, okay, so I'm just I put this rod in my vise, and I'm just making sure that it's plumb, so perpendicular to the Earth, or parallel to the Earth's gravitational pull. And now we're going to pop this on, and we're going to test it with a fan and see what happens. So here we go. Okay, so it spins like effortless. Like it's pretty much like spins super easy. And we'll just see what this fan does. Okay, so here we go. This is the biggest fan I can find. So it's supposed to head into the wind. So if I'm standing over here like this, the boat should be like that. But it's not. All right. Like I said, when I first started this, there's a little bit of I've never done this before. So when I'm looking at this thing, I'm thinking that I drilled the hole in the wrong spot. I just guessed here, and I did it more for weight. But I'm thinking that I should probably have the hole like right here. And then it would be more like a flag. So if I do that, then it's going to be a whole bunch more weight cutting in the back there. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So like I said, it's a little bit of a reach for me. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drill another hole, and then I'm going to test it out. So we got like a little bit of shop engineering happening here. So it'd be really cool if it did work like this. So if the wind's coming from this direction, the bow should just be right into the wind. And whatever direction the wind's going, that's the way a weather vane's supposed to work. So this one, I think, looks cool, but it doesn't work. So you remember the old, I know we've spoken a lot about this, especially in Woods 1, form follows function. So the way this thing looks has to take the back seat to the way it works. Because if it's supposed to be a weather vane that doesn't work, well, that's not really, it's just like a roof decoration then. So I'm going to go back to the drill press. I'm hoping that I can drill another hole and not blow through the side of this. What's really good is the top of this is still the jointed surface. I never touched that. So hopefully I can get this thing to sit flat, and then I can drill a hole through it. So I'm not going to have you guys watch that. I think the next clip will just be us testing this thing again. So the hole was a success. We have a whole new pivot point, and what I did is these are all 2-ounce fishing weights, and so to balance it out now, I put this on here, and it's pretty balanced. So that's 20 ounces, and it seems now like it's more like a flag would be. Like when the wind hits it, it would be more like point into the wind. So I have my shop vac, and we're going to give this I put it on a exhaust, and so we're going to give this a shot. This is like I'm a little in the unknown right now, so we'll see what happens. So this is blowing. Okay. It seems like it follows it. So I'm going to try to cut a bunch of weight off the back so we don't need so many of these. I think it's very difficult for it to spin, but I think we're on the right track. Okay, you guys, since the last time we were together, I've done a lot of work with this little weather vane. You can see I drilled the other hole, and then in our last video clip, you saw this thing as it was just, I had a bunch of weights on the front, and we had it like this. And then I got to thinking that I think it was just, there was so much areas for the wind to grab in the front that it was causing it to not really go into the wind. So I cut this out, this out, and then the back, I've tapered right down. So it's like a little vane. This thing works great right now. And so the other thing that I've figured out, when I blast this with just the shop vac, it's not, I don't think it's just the way like wind is. I think outdoor wind is like a wall that comes, and this thing, it's super accurate. So I'm going to bring you outside. I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to come in, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these letters, and I'm cutting it out of aluminum plate. So I'm going to glue these on, and I'm going to cut it out of aluminum plate. And when I bought this bandsaw, that was one of the things that they said that I could cut aluminum with it as well because it has this low speed setting. So first, go outside. Well, I'll show you how like that the weather vane actually is going, and it's super sensitive with these skateboard ball bearings. So I was so happy when I brought it out there, and it just like everything just started to work. Then I'm going to come in. I'm going to do this, and then so then we'll take it from there anyway. Okay, so here we are outside. I've got this thing set up, and I just have it clamped onto a deck railing. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna move it just so you can see how it's not really that windy right now. So a little awkward, but we'll see what happens. Just gotta move it so it's not in the wind. And let's see what happens. It's like it's breezy today, but there's not a lot of wind. All of a sudden, like it'll hit it, and then it will move in. So we'll just wait. There it goes. So that wind right now is coming out of the south. And the wind's kind of been all over the place today. So right now we got a little southerly, like a little southern wind. Oh, there it goes. So a little southwest happening. And so the next thing, I'm going to put all these like compass headings. Then we'll come out again and I'll show it again. But I just want to show you it works. And so I'm so psyched about it. So I'm all set up. I'm going to cut pieces so that we can make a base for the weather vane, and also so that we can make just the long piece of wood to connect the aluminum letters to. And so in doing so, I'm going to go through the squaring process here in my home shop. So especially for advanced wood students, you guys have, like, know about this pretty well because you wrote those stories on what it's like to go through the squaring process. But I'm going to rough cut to my rough dimensions, length dimensions, sliding miter saw. And then I'm going to rip it. And so I'm just going to rip this down just so it will fit into my jointer. Then I'm going to join a face and an edge. We're going to run it through the planer. Then we're going to come back to the table saw and rip again. And finally, I'll cut the finish line. So I think what I'll do is, that's all the explaining I'll do from, like, as I do this. Just realize that's what I'm doing. So I found out that I need to make a little bushing, and this hole has to be the size of this nut, and then this has to be the size of the ball bearing. So when the weather vane sits on top, the nut isn't dragging against the wood, and it's all ball bearing. So I cut this out the best I could, size-wise, and I drilled a hole in it so the nut can go through, but it's a little big. And so I'm taking this long drill bit and I'm just putting this on there and it kind of grips. I'm going to take this and I'm going to sand it as it's spinning until it fits in. Hey, we got it to fit. So it fits perfectly down. So this hole is a big mistake. And so I'm going to glue these plugs in. And what I do, I'm just going to line up the grain because this has the same grain cut as this piece. So I'm just going to put some glue in here. I'm going to twist this till the grain lines up, and then I'm going to let it set, and then I'm going to get to work on the aluminum letters. And I'll do the same for this little bushing piece too. Everything's glued, and we get that little plug way down deep. This is out of aluminum. Okay, everything's coming along awesome. I'm cutting out little notches right now, and that's what these little aluminum letters are going to fit in. So this little notch will just accommodate this thing. It's like a friction fit, but I'm also going to put a bolt in there. But that's how these are going to get held on. So that's the south north, and so that's what I'm doing right now on the bandsaw. So here we go. I'll cut one. I'm going to cut one right on this end. So then I just check it and I do it until it's a nice tight fit. All right, there we go. So I'm trying to get these letters so that they're not going to move. And so what I did, you guys saw, we did this together. I cut these little notches out. And then I even cut a little notch in the letter. And so then this locks together like almost like a puzzle piece. And then what I'm doing is I'm just drilling a hole right through. And then I found these little stainless steel screws with lock nuts in our basement. And so this is what we're going to get when we're done. We'll get something like this. So you can see how I have that E connected on, I have the W. And so that's what I'm working on right now. So I just glued this thread rod into that hole, and I put glue underneath these spreader pieces, and the glue is it's epoxy. So mixed it up 2 parts, and the only reason I didn't film it is because it dries very fast, and it got a little ahead of me. So this is gluing in, and the nice thing is this threaded rod. It has so many like all those threads to bite into that epoxy. I think it's going to hold really well. So now I'm gluing these letters on. You can see that it's notched and it has a little hole drilled. And so this notch is going to line right up with this piece, and it's going to slide through because we have a little notch cut right in. So I'm going to epoxy this on plus glue it. And so these should stay on really well. Okay, so I'm putting on a coat of this Helmsman spar varnish, and so I'm just coating it away. Came out really nice. All these letters, they're all epoxied and screwed on with little stainless screws, and this thing just spins like effortlessly. And what's kind of cool is the clearance when it swings by like the E, and everything is it's very precise. So anyway, I'm putting the finish on, and I'm gonna go try it outdoors once the finish dries. So that'll be our next thing. Okay, so here we are. It's all finished, and I just temporarily clamped it to the deck. It's kind of a weird day breeze-wise, but what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna put it in another spot just so you guys can see how it is a little breezy. And so now it's gonna come around. And right now, it looks like we've got a southeast wind. Now it's a south wind. So the wind's coming right out of the south. And for the longest time, it was going northwest. And so I think today's like one of those summer days, kind of like the wind's going all over the place. And so it looks like we're back to southeast. Then northwest is where it was the longest time before I turned this on. So I think that's where the prevailing wind is coming from. But here we come around again. So it's just kind of like a breezy day going all over the place, the wind today. Northwest wind. And again, I'd like to just hear what you think of this. For you guys, I guess this could be the end of our lessons together. But it's been really nice working with you guys, especially seniors. I wish you all the best. Remember that I'm only an email away, and I'm going to miss working even in this capacity with you guys. But I'm going to sign anyway. We'll see you.